What's up, guys? Barry Game here, back with some more Idle Heroes, and today, man, oh man, we're going to be talking about the video we did yesterday about Star Expedition. Now, we kind of have tweaked our team to the point where it seems like it's a good spot. We're not going to be doing actual combat today. We're going to be talking about who can actually do something like this, because this is not something even an average player can do. In reality, the strategy that you guys saw yesterday is something that you have to be kind of a spender to accomplish. I mean, maybe there's someone out there that's like free to play, that's been playing forever and been playing really smart, and have somewhere near this, but the problem is having enough cores of origin. So let's talk about why this is such a stringent method, and hopefully we can find some easier ones in the future down the road. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Hit that subscribe button. Let's get going. So let's talk about why the one strategy that we did use is probably not going to work for most people. Now, the big change here is the fact that we can no longer use these three heroes in our lineup the second we get under level 100 bars on the Star Expedition boss. They simply cannot live. And in reality, even Tree of Origin heroes cannot live, because one thing that we noticed immediately, I actually have one attempt left, which we might highlight today. The big reason why is because we can't even get our Mystic Fairy Freya to live long enough when she is a maxed out Tree of Origin and kind of like a small tiny homeowner. So previously when we were doing this strategy, we couldn't make it work even at the point where we have our Mystic Fairy Freya right here, and she had, you know, just a hero in everything. Mainly is to get the speed. She's getting a little bit of HP, but when you compare it to what she's getting from Treasure Train, it's not that much. And yeah, it's kind of a big deal, because otherwise she doesn't really get out of round one, which is why our account looks a little funky right now with the Mystic Fairy Freya being at the level that she is. However, basically you need to run a full Transcendence team, heroes that can get Destiny Transition. Why is that the important part? Well, when you go to the Transition Temple, you realize we're going against Star Expedition. I'll show you guys right here, because normally bosses will tell you if they have any divine power. As far as I know, there's no divine power in the Abyss Catastrophe, so there's that portion at the very least. What that means is when you come into these heroes here and you go into the temple, you'll notice most of our heroes have, like, you know, divine power 9, 10, 11, somewhere in that ballpark. When you come over to here, you'll notice when we have a 9, 10, or 11 divine power gap, because remember, the enemy has none, we're taking 50 to 60% damage resistance, which again, it sounds like it says takes effect after the total damage is calculated. So we're basically, again, heroes with higher divine power dominate the enemy, so we're taking a significantly less amount of damage. The issue is we can't put Ignis, Heartwatcher, or even Olivia as a Destiny Transition hero. Destiny Transition is literally only Transcendence heroes, which basically means your team needs to be Destiny Transitioned. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means every one of your heroes needs to have a noble core, and that's actually what enables Phantom Defier Elena's core to be active. Because if we do take a look at this, the core liberation, even when you max it out to a noble core, becomes an issue. At the beginning of the battle, reduces the duration of any control effects inflicted on self and only 2 random allies. The whole point of being able to drop cause is because cause is what removes those CC effects from your hero. In this situation, Phantom Defier Elena is doing it with her core. However, it has to be level 8. Now, how do you get to level 8? You essentially come over to our little team right here, and you jump up here. You'll notice it has a +5 next to this. What does that mean? That means there's 5 other people in this 6 hero lineup that also have a noble core. Every hero that has a noble core gives a +1. What does that turn it into? Well, when we come back to the actual hero here and take a look at it, the level 8 version says basically it removes control effect on self and 5 random allies, which means it is removing those CC effects from the entire team. Now, of course, there's some other benefits to having this core, but this is the main part, mainly because it's replacing cause, which cause is pretty much what lets you do what you want to do. If we come over and just take a look at one of the cause pieces here, the 4 piece says at the beginning of each round, remove self all control effects. Doesn't reduce it by 1 round. However, the CC effects were getting affected by the Star Expedition boss are only lasting 1 round anyway, essentially. So this part is kind of not needed if you have that noble core. If you don't have a noble core, you have to continue using cause. Now, what's the issue there? You're not getting any other bonus effects like we are now with the foresight. Now, we are not getting actives off every single round, even with running mirrors and demon bells and all these things, because we will be CC'd before we get to use our skills in combat. Usually the last 2 to 3 allies will not get actives or basics off because they'll have both Horrify and Silence on them. Now, you would think, well, that doesn't mean we need a noble core for Phantom Defier Elena, but it kind of does because it's random targets. Now, if it was the highest attack targets, that could be manipulated and worked out. However, basically what we're doing, once we get rid of the cause set, we can run something like this where we're stacking 30% all damage dealt pretty much every other round on Lord of Fear Aspen. So by the end, we probably have somewhere like 200 to 250 additional all damage dealt. The extra energy, of course, is basically getting turned into additional skill damage on the next active skill we use. And then after releasing our active skills here, we give ourselves crit and crit damage. So you can go away from running the crit and crit damage nodes. I think for me personally, I don't know if I did that completely. I think I kind of kept the crit damage, which in reality, if I really wanted to maximize this completely, I would probably go to like precision and maybe even drop the crit chance off for more holy damage, because you have to remember with Lord of Fear Aspen, he is going to get ways to get additional crit rate because he is using basic attacks. Then he does increase his own crit rate by 3 rounds. So even just having him at 20 and 80 crit damage is not the end of the world. That's still something that is possible. The extra 100 is going to put him over the cap, and then he should have the crit damage. This way he's got more holy damage. He's got precision cap, all these different things. In reality, there's so many things to do, because in reality, we don't even need the precision here either. We could just go skill damage and have a weird skill damage, holy damage, armor break setup, and it still works out just fine. Let's see what our last attack is actually going to do damage-wise. I think we're at 77, so we're still in the Defier range. This might be a little bit better this time around. We're just going to do 1 hit. We're going to see what happens. There's still a lot of RNG depending on where the snake hits, but in reality... You see what that change did for us, and this isn't even at low HP levels right here. Bam, we just did even more damage, and that's because of the Phantom Defier Elena. We're able to do some different things, which is, you know, really maximize our crit and crit damage effects. We have crit damage here, we get crit damage here. Essentially, even that 80 that we already have is too much, but that's just natively what our Lord of Fear Aspen has now. So that's why the strategy kind of works out for us, and yeah, it's kind of cool. However, don't even consider trying this on your own account unless you have legitimately noble cores on 6 heroes that you can throw in the lineup. Even if they're ones that are like not as useful, like you might have a Betty with a noble core, sure, throw her in over like one of the other heroes that are more support oriented, just because you need that effect to get it all the way up to level 8. So let me know what you guys think. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. I'll see you guys next time.